Alright, and welcome back to our series. So, the idea that I have for this is to show everybody how to take a region and make it absurdly profitable for you. Now, the reason that you're going to want to do something like this is because of the way that things are taxed in this game. So you may notice when you're looking at a new game, something called the royal tax. Royal taxes are collected annually from each region with the settlement level of small village and above. The rate is 2 treasury per resident per settlement level when it's on double, all right? And as you've noticed, I think it actually goes a little bit further than that. Now, all of this is to say that once they remedy trade, because there's issues with trade right now, so basically the bigger your city, the harder it is to become efficient in paying your taxes, because you can only generate at a tier 3 home 2 wealth per family per month. That goes to your regional wealth, and then you gotta tax it to pay the annual royal tax, right? So just having people and a tax is not enough. At the higher difficulties, it has to be offset by trade. So if you want to build a city that's like 1,000, 2,000 people, it's going to be difficult. Now, a lot of what I'm showing you is slightly future-proofing, and it's an absurdity. But I do think it is an interesting topic to show people how to take a secondary region and turn it into an economic powerhouse. So, what are you looking for when you're looking for trade items? There are a few things that come to mind that are easy trades. Let's look at the trading post here just momentarily. We can see that there are a lot of good things here. Now, your import is not going to be the same as your exports, all right? So stone, meh. Wood planks, great for early game areas. Roof tiles, can't see the price here right now, but it is fantastic, okay? Fan-freaking-tastic. You can see things like exporting barley, exporting flax, yada yada. Not entirely easy. Food items, I do like to sell honey. Still not really the economic powerhouse you're looking for. Iron ore is actually really easy. Now think about this from a perspective. You just need a couple of greasy guys to go into a mine shaft and pull out some ore, and you're selling it. I can make thousands just off selling iron ore. You could also turn it into iron slabs and then export iron slabs, but for not that much more. What I have found in this game is actually taking a rich deposit, getting up to the tier where you can put a deep mine on it, and just selling the raw material, one of the easiest ways to make money in the game. Now, if you can make something else with it, like clay roof tiles, bingo, right? But the question we're talking about here is, what is optimal? And what is trade in general? All right, so how does trade work? Well, outside traders will come to the region to buy goods from you. You can also send your own people out, but it's not as reliable, and it requires a massive scale. So the way that trade works is it picks a random trade post to go to. You can have up to 50 of an item. You can see there's 58 bread here. It's making me a liar, but that's the general rule of thumb, is you get up to 50. Now, if I have 2 trade posts, it will split that in a weird way. There could be 10 bread in one trade post, 40 bread in another trade post. When the trader comes into town to buy the good, if he goes to the trade post with the 10 bread, he just buys the 10 bread and he takes off. I have noticed, like, without a doubt, just doing one trade post and focusing on a few goods leads to the largest generation of regional wealth, simply because you don't have to deal with that factor of which, hungry hippo got the most balls in its mouth, okay? You put all your hungry hippos in one spot and you get all the balls. Now, the problem with that is, yes, you can get traders, and yes, you can buy horses, and yes, they will go out and trade your goods. But the amount of traders that come in from outside of the regions to come in and buy goods is pretty significant, and you would need about 8 or 9 trade posts, I think, to actually be in a position where you're exporting more of a good and making money off that, because, you got to send these people out. I got people coming in all day. They're hot for what I got, okay? And it's just really easy to sit with one trade post. You can see right now, even with everything I said about inefficiencies in one region, this is a rather small city. It's only 436. We're at 5,000, 419 regional wealth. I'm sitting on a big old stack of cash. But this is my opinion. It's been pretty consistent that the one trade post, given the current mechanics, is actually going to yield the most amount of money, unless you want to get freaky-deaky weird and just have an absurd trading post. The second key characteristic is, whatever goods you are selling at the trading post, you want to have in a large storehouse right next to it, ideally right across the street from it. So, with all of that in mind, everything that I said, we want to pick a region that we can take, have as few people as possible, and make a crap load of money. Now, there's something over here that's interesting, which is wild animals and salt. One, we could sell the raw salt. But what did you guys know that sausages sell for 6? That's right. So we want to concentrate everything that we are doing into as few goods as possible with the highest monetary value. Now, a really good way to make a regional trade city is, of course, going into charcoal and deep mining. Not just for the unlimited resources of what you are harvesting there, which you can then sell indefinitely, but charcoal. Charcoal is insane. Charcoal sells for an absurd amount. I'm going to buy a trade route to prove it. It sells for 5 a pop. You just take firewood and you turn it out into charcoal. It's something you can mass produce without any thought. So the key concepts we want in this area, as I told you, is that individuals cost money. The tax in this area is based on how many people are in it. We want as few people as possible, pushing out as much money as possible. We're going to need a manor so that we can tax, so we'll have to have some things. But over here you can see we got berries, and we got some hungry hippos. Now, what's kind of cool about this is we can actually trade our sausages for some of the bread over in this area. My people over here, they love sausages. I mean, they don't have any, and so that's a good trade. That's another thing, is if you can line up a lucrative trade item that can also be used in your village, because I mean, we're pumping out 1.3 thousand bread. This bread is just on the floor rotting, okay? So if I can trade it for sausage, give them another food type, get myself some sausages, like I said, we're going to be in good shape. I'll show you how to do that with pack stations. I'll also show you how to do it with the trade post. So we're going into the historical fun of all of this. I'm going to keep true to the historical efficient design in my trade hub city. So what we want to do is conquer this region. We want to assert our dominance as, jerks. But, jerks get what they want. And today we're going to get what we want, which is sausage. If you take away anything from this video, it's that the desire for sausage will allow you to commit terrible crimes. That's a story as old as man. But let's get all of our gents over here, and we're going to clicky. We're gonna clicky. Yeah, I'm using really big words today. We're gonna claim this area with influence once I'm in range of everything, and we're gonna be doing a great job. But yeah, I do really actually love this design for historic efficient city. It's gritty. It's got the authentic burgers plots. If you haven't seen this series, I'll plug it into the description, and you can watch the beginning how I built all of this out and all the rationale behind it. But today is the continuation of probably one of my greatest Manor Lords series ever. So we're going to use big words, clickies, and we're going to claim with influence. Now these guys they're not cool. They're not cool like us. So, all right, well, we need to get in the circle. All right, we're going to run over here. Another good thing about taking a second region is to get yourself another retinue. I have never really needed more than one region ever in this game, but it is fun to continue your story, continue your journey. It looks like they're going to try to flank. Sometimes I'll take my retinue and I'll put him in the middle, and then when I see them move like that, where I can tell they're trying to flank, I'll put my other melee unit on the flanking side. These two gentlemen in front right here, they're going to charge head on first into a big old shield wall and spear, and it's not going to end well for them. It never does, but they do it every time. They never learn, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and the AI is definitely insane in this game. So as we shred their entire existence, ooh, they're getting salty. It's like the freaking beaches of D-Day. All right, come on, men. All right, we tossed them a little bit. That's good. Very good. Oh yeah, ripping and tearing. All right, we're gonna pull 2 crossbowmen out here and here. We're gonna alternate like so. I want to get some side shots in on these guys back here. I'm actually gonna pull him there. Everybody's having a good time. No, except for the people running away. They're having the worst day of their life. But I'm having a good time at their expense, which is really kind of mean. But that's the way it is. All right. All right, cool. These guys aren't doing exactly what I want them to do, but that's all right. My crossbowmen seem to be a little confused on what a crossbow is, but that's okay. We don't need to have nice things. we're going to shoot those archers over there. We're breaking. We're going to charge out. All right. We have accomplished banking them in front of their commanders, so this is great. And we got 3 crossbowmen who are about to rain hellfire. Oh, yeah, that didn't feel good, did it? Here we go. Come on. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. All right, there we go. We're taking out groups of them. All right, let's get in there and get some dead archers. Beautiful. Okay. Now, this is actually a very, very important thing that I want to kind of explain here. When you have a settlement on the edge of a map and you take it and you put your village there, the bandits, when they come, will just instantly start in your area and they'll start burning everything down. So until you have your own retinue in the area that you can instantly summon, it's really important to have a stationary army in that territory as it grows, so that the bandits don't just because they'll burn it down. By the time you summon your men and run them out there, they'll burn down half or all of your city. They'll have killed your ox. They will have, renamed your sons to silly names. They will completely just make you feel bad. Let's get all these guys back to work, but very much want to keep a retinue in this area. Now, what's fantastic is we have our meat and berries all right here. So this is beautiful. This is a wonderful thing. And what we're going to do is go to construction, settlers camp, and we're going to build our settlers camp wherever we feel the best location for that is. I think it's right here. So we're going to build it on the other side, and we're going to do plentiful. This is going to allow us to build a church, make ourselves look pretty, all the things that are important. Right off the bat, you know that I want to get a logging camp up. You know that I want to get a storehouse up. And then we want to get a granary up. So the granary, in my opinion, should kind of go somewhere like right over here between these 2 points. That's going to be beautiful. Now, we're going to have our road come down like so. I'm not going to do any logging in these areas. Now, we have a salt mine right up yonder. So this is perfect too. Most likely what we'll do is we'll have them run the salt to an area over here. So we're going to have our granary right here. We're also going to have another storehouse right here. Our trade post is going to go right here. We're going to surround ourselves with all the things we want to trade. Sausage, charcoal, salt. And those 3 things right there, they're going to make us a lot of money. Now, most likely, I'll also sell something like a war bows. So let's go into some of the other trade items that we could possibly get in here. And let's also pause the game real quick. So some of the better items in the game to trade, in my opinion, are definitely any of the weapons, any of that stuff. You want to make armors and sell armors, go for it. War bows you can see sell for 5. I already have a place selling war bows. I don't want to saturate the market. I'm also selling shields, I'm also importing helmets. Now what we could do is make small shields, right? We can make small shields and sell that. So that's great. Find pretty much anything that you want to make and make it. We're also exporting flour over 200 because I have too much of it. And I need to set this back to nothing because we're importing raw iron for all that. And we're not even doing charcoal. We're going to focus on charcoal and small shields, salt, sausage. Those are going to be the 4 things we do. And we're going to try to do it with as few people as possible. As few people as possible. So we're in really good shape. We have our basic infrastructure, we have our granary, our storehouse. What we really need to do now is get up the basic building blocks of awesomeness. So one of the cool things, and I've said this many times, is with the Forger Hut, if you have it open, you can highlight the berry bushes. Now, I'm not going to be doing any of the stuff that I would normally do in this situation. That was a bad placement. I've been playing a few other games, and so I get a little weird on moving things around again. I think we're going to do two of them for now. We're going to have ourselves a nice little road from here to here. The road down the middle, connecting these points as such. This is all beautiful. It's all wonderful. And we are definitely going to use the policy to double the breed rate. We're not going to do any kind of farming in this region. All right, let's get the hunting camp up. That is perfect right there. And I'm going to let them kind of build this area up. Again, we have our guy on guard duty. Because if the bandits do pop in, they will just start immediately burning everything down. We want to make sure that everybody here lives for at least, like the foreseeable future. And over yonder, we have completely filled up everything in the original settlement. We have 5 unassigned people, an absurd amount of farming. It's actually a very beautiful and a perfect area. It's in a good semblance of harmony. And we'll just let them keep doing their thing. They're doing a great job over here. But we're going to pull in a lot of cash. We want monies. We want lots of monies. Money's good. All right. Now, another thing that we want to do, probably actually right off the bat, is try to get up some of the housing. Now, you want to be careful with the animals. You don't want to build buildings too close to them, in fact. So, for our starting area, we have, food production and stuff like that over here. I think that this is a fine area for everything that we want to do. We're going to need some kind of apple and or veggie production. Now, we also know that the higher level this village is, the harder it's going to be for us in a lot of ways. So I'm thinking maybe we don't do apples. Maybe we don't do any of that stuff, and we just get the 2 points. And we get just straight into deep mining. We try to keep this as small and as simple as possible. So there are a couple things that come to mind when I say that. We want to, at a minimum, do veggies, and we probably want to delve into something like eggs to make sure we have an ample food supply. Now, if we don't go too crazy, if we don't need alcohol, for instance, if we don't go above tier 1, then realistically we don't need too many other foods. The bread, we don't even actually have to do eggs if we're trading resources here like sausages. Yeah, we're going to have to do tier 2 for sausages. So that individual will need some alcohol, but we can remedy that with some trade. That's a very easy thing to remedy. So, in the nature of making something decent, we're going to do an eye design, which is like so. It's a historical thing in Germanic tribes. And actually, I think probably would have been known in this region of Poland. So let us get up now. The well in the center, and we're going to place our markets over here as well. Your granary and storehouse don't have to be that close to market stalls anymore in the game, because goods are consumed from the storehouse and granary before market stalls. So as long as you have enough of that good to meet consumption, you don't actually ever stock the market stall. So it's kind of an interesting way that they remedied the issues with logistics. Okay, so over here, we're going to do... I want this to look kind of interesting. So I'm thinking we're going to go with a fun little design here. We're going to keep the long Burgersplatz, but we're going to use an eye design, and we're going to kind of line it up with everything over here. Let's actually start over in this region here. Pop this out like so. Perfect. Double, single. Okay. So 3 doubles with backyard extensions. Not bad. Not bad. Let's do that. Very good. Alright, we'll get that going. We have a hitching post. Let's definitely order another ox. Let's actually definitely get a couple more hitching posts up. We now have a storehouse over here. And the the storehouse over here is going to focus on a couple of other things. The storehouse over there is going to focus on trade items. So we have to get the logging camp up. Now we want to stay away from all those animals over there. So we're going to use a unlimited work area modifier. And just stick to this area over here. Cool as we have all this area for firewood over here. We just want to stay away from our berries. We'll definitely want to get our food going and get everything going. When we remember, we're playing on the hard difficulty, so when we're under 49% like we are, it's going to take a while for us to get to those second families. I kind of shot myself in the foot with this, but that's okay. It's okay. It really is. And it looks like we need to get that second hitching post up sooner rather than later, so we're going to high prioritize that. But we'll just let them build everything out. It's a glorious day for us. As long as people don't die, then everything's great. So let's take a gander at what we got. So there's really nothing further to do in the original settlement. Everything is perfect and beautiful. And we're still hitting our 100% in perfect equilibrium. We got our graves. But yeah, it's not bad. Everything still seems to be quite in order. It's amazing how few veggies and how few foods you actually really need in this game to make it. And, you know, fish are doing a great job, especially with the perk points. And always good to have wild animals. We have salt over here, but it's not enough. Okay. Yeah, we're doing great over here. Male animals 40. All right. Well, eventually, we'll get some things going over here, and things will be wonderful for us. I think having 2 individuals on log duty is great. I'm just going to let everyone else focus on building. And we probably should get at least the forager hut. Now, if you don't have a granary and you don't have market stalls, then it goes into a second equation where food is consumed from the forager. I have a whole guide on this, but like, let me just kind of explain it to you. Food is eaten equally in this game. So if I have 48 bread and I have 40 apples, it's going to, and say I need 10 consumption, it's going to consume 5 and 5. All right, but it's going to consume what's in the granary. Like say I have 3 apples in the granary and 2 in a market stall. It's going to eat those 3 in the granary and then eat the 2 in the market stall. Now you say I have 10 in the granary and 10 in a market stall. It's just going to eat the ones in the granary. So it will consume things equally between all things. And that's why if you have low amounts of a good, it gets kind of like your market stalls have to restock. But if you always have enough in your granary to meet consumption, the market stall never needs to be replenished for it. But if you have nothing in the granary and you have nothing in the market stall, then it will eat things out of the pantries of houses. Now, when taking into consideration the equal goods, it does not take into consideration pantries. So if all of your vegetables are in a pantry, they're not being consumed. As long as there's food, like if you have 30 meat, if you just have 30 meat in your granary and you have 200 vegetables in your pantry, it's going to eat that meat first and then it's going to move on. So yeah, you need to make sure that you're getting your food to your granary. Otherwise there's a lot of stuff. You're probably better off going to my channel and looking at my newest food guide. I have an enormous amount of examples on how all the calculations work. And I worked with all of the alpha testers on the Discord channel to make this guide. And I ran like every scenario past them and every number. And I even had them watch it before I posted it. So it took me like a whole day to do. And it's like 6 minutes long. I'll post it in the description of the video, actually. Make it easier on you guys. Because it's incredibly insightful and it will really illuminate and help you understand like why you might be having food issues. So, all right, we're in good shape. We got a little bit of money. We're messing up in a few areas, like I said, but everything is. I mean, I'm happy with it. I just want their cash. So let's see. Okay, we're gonna need a little Jesus here. So Jesus was always at the center. I think this is actually perfect, kind of like a buffer between us and the animals. So what do we not have? We don't have the boards. All right. Well, we need to get ourselves some boards. So I'm going to put the board maker right here next to the storehouse. Get that going here in a moment. As soon as... Okay, that granary's going up. Okay, the forager, we're going to put 1 individual in there. And remember, we're going to need a couple. Get all the berries. We can get about 440 berries a year once we get enough families in there. I don't know if we're going to try to go for that whole amount, simply because I am trying to limit the amount of people. We may even just say, like, however many people we can fit in here is perfect. To be honest, 10 burgage plots would be about ideal. We'll see. We'll see. I do want to get a robust trade. Yes, but the fewer people, the better. 'Cause realistically, we will get to a point where we don't even need a logging camp. The woodcutter's lodge. I think we're going to put the woodcutter's lodge and the charcoal over here, because that's going to be a trade item. So we have the storehouse right here. I'm going to put my woodcutter right in here, and he's just going to cut out the area behind us. That's going to be perfect. We'll have the charcoal maker. We'll have everything right next to trade that we're going to be trading. It's going to be a beautiful thing. All right, let's speed this bad boy up. All right, expand living space. Want to get these guys out fast. All right, so there are a couple buildings that we're going to want. If we are going to do shields, I think we're actually going to say no to the shields, simply because it's another building that I don't want to mess with. But we are going to need a butcher to make sausages. We're going to need at least 1. Okay? That's going to be easy enough to do. But we're going to need... I mean, we could do it any way we want. We could do a single burgage plot for sausages. There are issues right now with the game where you're not getting the full magnitude. Like, if I get a tier 3... burgage plot for sausages, it's going to have 2 families at a single and 4 families at a double, but people are noticing that you're getting more productivity out of two singles rather than a double. So right now, you're not getting the full yield of families. It kind of sucks. And who knows what the game will be like in the future. We got to get these houses up before it gets cold. All right, we're in September. We got some time. Winter is coming, though. We got about 3 months to get there. All right. We're going to get some of the stuff off the ground. I'm going to put someone into the storehouse. Again, we're eating stuff out of the pantry, so I'm not too worried about food. They're just going to have to eat the berries out of the pantry. They'll be fine. Start hunting here in a second. Everybody's doing great. I'm going to have them stand guard in the center. They're kind of blocking the road and causing issues, I just realized. Not good. All right, but yeah, we want to get all the stuff off the floor, get everything off the floor. Not bad. I'll get the 2 storehouses set up for what they do better here in a moment. But we're going to be in good shape. All right. This is perfectly fine. But yes, we want to try, what I want to try to show you is how to minimize the amount of people. Less people, less consumption of goods, more things you have for sale. It's pretty much that easy. I think we're going to have a lot to trade. Now, I don't know if, I'll show you how to set up mules, but I don't know if it's a good idea. The amount of bread that we would be able to trade into this region is going to be quite absurd. But trading sausage for bread does sound like a fun thing to do. So we're going to need a sausage maker. Now, I think that the sausage maker should just go right up over here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a historical burgage plot for that. There we go. There we go. Perfect. The small little spot. Now, I want something a little unique, though. And we're going to do this. All right. That's still too much. Perfect. All right. I'll figure something out. All right. So this is going to be like a sausage shop. Really interesting how you can get something that looks like crap. All right. Perfect. Little sausage shop on the corner. Wonderful. That's just going to be a single family. So that's our 3rd. All right, let's double this up. All right, so we got to use all of our family members. Perfect. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason we're doing this is because I'm only going to have 1 market stall for fuel and clothing. And then I'm only going to have 1 market stall for food. So it really, because I need 2 types of food at any given time. And it will do it perfectly. So if I don't go over 10 burgage plots, then I'm there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I think what we're going to do is move this and try that one more time. I'd love to get this eye up. Another thing I'd like to do is let's get the double burgage plot up here. Perfect. And let's get a road in between the eye. All right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to do 5 more, and we'll have our perfect 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unfortunately, we're going to need a little bit of wiggle. Yeah, so we can do 4 here, and that's not too bad. Okay. Well, let's do 4, and then we'll figure out what to do with that other 1. All right, perfect. So over here, we're going to do a little bit of veggies. We don't need to do a whole lot of veggies. This is honestly probably going to be more than enough. We have a lot of food. This could become a problem. And we could even sell veggies here. It's not hard to do. Like I said, the lower your pop, the easier life becomes in a lot of ways. We have 1 extra family. Okay. We have a saw pit coming up here shortly. I'm going to pull everybody out of logging for the time being. And I'm going to micromanage and pull him out of the forager hut and put him into the hunting camp. Now we have a rich deposit, so we want to go to about half the population there. Now it would be nice to do trapping and advanced skinning, but to be honest, we might be able to get away with still producing far more than enough meat with policies. So we'll try that. Again, I'm trying to keep my population as small as possible. It wouldn't hurt too much, but the higher level we go, the more each of these people cost. But you could easily offset that cost with trade items. But I am worried because we are going to produce way more than I think we can sell. And that's kind of the power of what I want to show you how to do. So our reserve limit is going to be 6. And our production limit is going to be 40. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So we do have, we should have firewood. I should definitely get my market stalls up before everybody freezes to death. So the market is going to go right here in the middle of everything. It doesn't matter how many locations we put because we're only going to have very few amount of workers. All right. It will get a market stall up over there. All right, granary worker right there. Storehouse going up over here. Hunting camp, burgers plot. Yeah, I may actually have to rethink. I may have to rethink and put one storage house because first I was planning on making a small city, and now I'm seeing that there's a beauty in keeping things synergistic. But yeah, we're using a Germanic eye for a tribal village. It's a pretty good setup for a normal village. You got everything in the center right there with the well. It actually looks pretty decent. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is go in the charcoal. And then we're going to get our church front and center like they used to do in the olden times. Right in the center of town, having a big old church. Need 20 boards, and we're golden. All right, we got 2 people building. We're at 32. People are really pissy here. All right, we're back up to 40.
Have you marked the joists for the rafters already?
Right, yeah, we need to get the 2 food types. That's not going to be hard. Once I get Jesus in here, we're going to be in good shape. Yeah, I'm instantly regretting my decision to do that. We're actually better off just kind of focusing everything around here. I'm gonna put the saw pit over here, and I'm gonna correct my mistake. This was a mistake. We should get this storehouse up over here. We're trying to minimize our workers, and you know, I got a little too ambitious with that. That's okay. I guess I'll leave them in there for now just to deliver firewood so people don't freeze to death. But yeah, we're going to definitely just move that. That's no big deal. There's lots of room for mistakes in this game, so nothing you can't undo. All right, let's get all these guys up to speed. We're almost at 20 boards. It's going to be great. This guy up. Probably should have built my church first, but bugging me. All right. And so we're going to get our woodcutter, and he's just going to focus on this area down here. So he's not even going to touch the berries or mess with the animals. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to be pulling in more than enough meat, I think, to feed everybody. So we're in really good shape. Everybody down here is happy. They're all hunky-dory. All right, look at that. We got more room for ox. Let's get another ox to help out with all this. But we could just drag the logs over to the saw pit. Not a big deal. Okay, so we're going to put an individual in here. And we're going to take this individual out. And I'm actually even going to straight up destroy this and have them start moving stuff. All right, common goods stall. Got to destroy that because I messed it all up. They'll get it all under control. And they're not going to freeze to death because I told them not to. And that's how that works. If you ever see someone and they're having a bad time, just tell them to stop. It's that easy, man. It's that easy. Okay. All right, storehouse is going up strong. Stop it. Let's slap them in now. Got the same stuff going on. We'll get the church up. I know I'm being hecka nitpicky. All right, we got to get this burgers plot up at some point to tier 2. I think that's going to be the only one that's tier 2. And we would need a tavern and stuff to make that person happy. We're not going to worry about that person being happy and having alcohol because that's one more worker I have to use. So we're just going to isolate our economy and super focus on this one area. It's going to be beautiful. But yeah, having middle roads like this, as you can see, can prove beneficial to logistics and movement. It's also when you have roads like this, right? Ah, that's interesting. It was getting weird on me. All right, there we go. We can kind of curve it along with the terrain as it is already. Perfect. All right, we're in business. Looks like we got the boards that we need for Jesus. So everybody's sweet on Jesus. I'm gonna move this road. I think that the church should be like dead center, like so. And then this road should curve and go into this area here. There we go. That looks a little bit more natural. Like it. All right, let's keep our men front and center, protecting everybody. Got the marketplace going. All right, it is now daytime. Okay. So animals are doing good. We're going to try to get the 2 food types now. We'll do that and hit tab so we can actually see. We'll get our granary going. And we're going to have to pull it from somewhere else. Saw pit. All right, we're going to pull out of the saw pit. And we're going to pull out of the hunting camp for now. Let's speed this up. we'll have that one person build a church. And with the 2 food types, we're going to be above 50% here in no time. And how much wood do I actually have? 31 months! Oh, God. All right, yeah, we'll pull out the woodcutter to help. We need 2 people now helping. But they're going to have to move all the stone and everything by hand. So, yeah, I kind of hamstrung myself in that regard. Perfect, perfect. All right. All right, so here's the granary. Here's the storehouse. Here's this burgage plot. That's cool. And then the trade house. So the trade house, we have the granary and we have the storehouse here, right? So what I want is it angled like this. I mean, I could have it like that too, but I want it a little bit off the road. I want to make sure there's enough room. Wait, hold up. The traders in this game have weird pathfinding, okay? And sometimes they can get stuck on certain areas. I have found with the trade post, it's nice just to have a little bit of room around this area so you don't get people running into each other. So now the storehouse and the granary can move goods for trade right there. Butcher's right there. This is beautiful. This is going to be a perfect trade area. Everybody's going to love me. We're in good shape. All right, so we got a perfect 9 constructed burgage plots. We got some farming going. That should help out with veggies. We're not going to really need that much food. As I said, between the berries, the meat, and the sausages we're going to make, and the fact that we're just going to keep these guys in the peasant era and keep them down in the dumps, because we're not going to worry about alcohol. In order for me to do alcohol, I'd have to purchase it. Isn't a terrible idea. I want to see if we can get away with not doing that. I want to see if we can just get this perfectly optimized to produce trade goods and tax the hell out of them. But yes, the compounding averages of approval on the harder difficulty, it makes I have to get up to like 60% for a couple months before I can get more families, and I screwed up. Yeah, this is gonna be great. But yeah, the best way to get a hold of that, honestly, is to rush your housing, rush your granary, get the market stall up, get 2 types of food. If I would have done that, I would have definitely had more families by now. But I always get so sidetracked by the pretty designs. I kind of just throw that stuff to the wayside. Honestly, whether or not I get a family now or in 6 months, it doesn't really change anything for me, because I already have done that. I've already done it down here. I got my army. I got my people. But yeah, we're still raking in the cash down here, as you can see. And what's awesome is the treasury is going to, like the taxes over here are also going to enter the treasury. And that's kind of the whole point, is that if you ever wanted to go to 3,000 or 4,000 pop, you're going to have that problem where right now trade just does not scale very well. But what you can do is just make little towns like this that generate massive amounts of profit. All right, we got ourselves some Jesus over here. That should throw us above. It's one thing I hate about the hard difficulty is that the approval system really does suck. It really does suck. We are meeting pretty much everything. I have 100%, but it's still remembering all the bad things that I did. They'll never let you forget. They'll never let you forget any mistake that you make in this game. All right, we're gonna put the leather maker right here. That's gonna be fine. And then, the heck was that? Scared me. I thought someone was coming to kill me. The Lord wants more money. I know he does. He's a jerk. I'm hoping at some point they'll let us kill the king in this game. All right, so here is the charcoal. I'm just gonna put the charcoal maker. Like I said, we're trying to stay away from some of this stuff. We're gonna put them right back here. So that's gonna be a whole nother industry right there. And then over at the mining pit, I can easily do 3. You can, I think someone said that they've done 4 before. 2 has always been enough for me. I've always been able to do everything that I want to do with 2. But 3 is usually pretty easy to do. I've done it multiple times. I've never needed 3. I know you can do it, and I've done it, but it's totally unnecessary. Okay. We're gonna have cornered roads like such. Perfect. Okay. So I rather the stock boys work a little bit harder pulling the salt from here down, because what I need is that for them to be able to move that salt as fast as possible. As fast as possible. A lot of my men are most likely going to be... Okay, so I remember what I did now. Yeah, we do want 2 storehouses. We want one storehouse that's just focused on leather and is focused on firewood. And then we want the other storehouse not focused on any kind of market stall setup. So we're gonna need another storehouse, but I think we're gonna keep it all in the same area. And I'm gonna keep this storehouse right here next to where all this stuff is going on, where it's all being produced and closer to the market. And so we'll specialize there. But yeah, I want to move it away from this area over here. And we're going to need an individual in the logging camp. Okay, we're in good shape now. But we're going to have to bumble our way back up to the top here. Let's put a gent into the tannery. We don't need anyone building anything anymore, really. We can get that other storehouse up later. And we're in good shape. Got the trade post over here. Things are going to go really well for us. We need to start We do need to start selling some stuff. So there's not a whole lot going on. Berries at 216. Yeah. Well, we don't have any individuals to put in there, but pretty much all the infrastructure is there now. So we just got to get the people coming in. So I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. There we go. We got clothing. Fuel, we got everything at 100%. Again, this game will not let you forget your mistakes. It's really hard to get back up above 50% because it's averaging in prior months. So if I had a negative 30, I have to get like 60 for multiple months in a row. And it's really hard to do because you have those massive negatives. So you have to get every single positive you possibly can. But even at 100%, even with the church, it's not giving me my due credit. It's going to take a few months to catch up. Holy Christ on crutches. Scared me. I was staring at my phone, waiting for time to go by. All right. We are getting attacked. So let's get everybody out into the battlefield. We have our men over here. So if they come into this territory, they won't come in burn mode. They'll start trying to attack our main dude right here. All right, they're coming from this side over here. That's perfect. All right, they might try to come from the bridge to the north. That would be great. Got ourselves some bandit camps we could attack if we wanted to. I don't think anybody's over at this one. I'm just going to steal it. Oh shit, we're also getting attacked at the main colony too. All right, let's put this in the treasury since I could have said to the nearest town and it probably would have sent it to the right place, but we're like, yeah, it could have. It's actually interesting. It would have been nice to have had that money. All right, so we're also gonna get attacked at Noe Nora. So I'm a man who loves a challenge. So let's just do this. Let's get the bandits coming at us. Let's get the main enemy coming at us from the south. All right. Well, he's going to try to burn some stuff. He's a jerk. So I'm going to send him down to the south to take their attention. I'm going to hold myself up in the area that we're supposed to fight everybody in. Actually, let's do our fight right here. If the enemy does come this direction from the north, we're being attacked from both sides. So they're going to come down this way. This is what you got to do when you play this game too much, is you got to like just start shooting yourself in the foot to make it more challenging. So we're going to get attacked pretty much at the same time from two directions. This will be a beautiful thing. It'll be a beautiful, beautiful victory for us. All right. So there's nothing really in the north for them to burn. Hopefully they were coming here. If they try to go this way, the game's about to get a lot more interesting and I might have to take some mercs. Ooh, they're coming at us from both sides. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh shit, I better get over there fast. I better get over there fast. You need to run a lot faster. Okay. Alright, so here's the conundrum. They are like equal distance. This is beautiful. Alright, this is beautiful. Okay. We're gonna do something a little weird here. We're gonna do ourselves a little turtle formation. We'll see who gets here first. Well, let's make sure we're defended on all sides. All right, it doesn't look like they're in burn mode. We're going to... All right, let's get ourselves centered. They still haven't crossed over there. Yep, they're in fuck everything I own mode. All right, cool. I got them out. Got them out. That's why you have to be really careful because they will just start burning anything down that they see. All right, so this is what a smart person would do. Smart person would try to distract these individuals with his fancy dancing moves or something of that nature. Okay, they're gonna come in burn mode, but they're gonna go out of it. Okay, so they're gonna come at me. They're gonna come at me. Okay, let's pause directions. Let's switch this over. You want to keep these guys. We're gonna switch this up. Gonna pull around the side there. All right, but yeah, I'm trying to make this as fun for myself as possible. It's just what you gotta do. Okay. All right, the archers are starting to shoot at us, so we need to kind of peek out and run away. There we go. We're going to be able to take that army out over there in no time. I'm going to run these gents over here. Let's actually run them deep into the woods and see if we can pull everybody. Awesome. All right. Get ourselves the cinematic mode. Ooh, beautiful. Oh. Ooh. All right. So they're hiding. These guys are getting confused. That's a good place for me to be. Let's speed this up a tad. There we go. Right where I want them to be. All right. So I got my gents in some armor now. That's good. You can see the people in the background farming and running. Some people are just like, I'm just going to keep doing my job. Then you got other people who are booking it. Booking it for dear life. There we go. Here they come. All right, we just need to check out everything real quick. All right, we're going to pull these guys back up now. Let's get to the fight over here. This is going to be a short-lived fight. We got the best units in the game. I think we can even get away with leaving that opening because they're just going to wreck anything that comes at them. Okay. All right, maybe we can't. Get in front. There we go. Broke, broke, broke. Everybody's broke. All right, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way now. All right, so here come the guys from the south. Another battle of a pawn. I love these pawn battles. All right, let's speed this part up because these guys have basically lost. All right, perfect. Put this guy on one side of the pond. Put this guy on one side of the pond. Put all four of these gents right here shooting pretty. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, we're gonna put these guys as backup. Ooh, there's no survivors, no survivors. Shooting the wounded. Gotta love these guys. All right, here they come. Pump the brakes. Now, actually, if I keep things like right here, any enemy that they get caught up is gonna be getting side shot. So we're gonna pull into the corners for a pincer. I'm gonna keep him back here as an extra protection if any units kind of slip through the sides. Imagine when they add cav to this game. It's really going to change a lot of the ways that tactics and everything work. All right. I think I got some guys trying to side swipe, but we're going to speed this up. Oh, right. Here we go. Here we go. This is beautiful. Come on, gents. Oh, they're all reloading. Ooh, someone's about to get hit. Yeah. All right. Instant break. That one lady just doesn't care. She's seen worse. All right, these archers over here about to get shot up. These I thought they were. All right, let's actually kill these archers right now. This will be great. We can get rid of these archers right now. Gonna be one thing not hitting me. Ooh, those shots did not land. All right, we got a few. Got a few of them. We're switching targets now. Let's hit the light mercenary. One good volley right here. It's gonna do the trick. Oh God, they're trying to swim. All right, I'm up for a fair game. There we go. That was not a fair game. All right, let's get the archers again. Actually, let's take out these mercs because we got a good spot on them right here. Get some good side shots. Come on, guys. You could do it. All right. I'm gonna tell these three guys to pull back like that. I'm gonna tell him to keep up firepower over here. I don't know where the other dude went. He's having a tea party in town. Probably up to no good. He's probably eating donuts. All right, cool, bro. Pull these guys back now. Pull these guys back. All right, let's get the archers. Let's speed this up. All right. There we go. No survivors. All right. This is not going to be a pretty day for these gents. We're just going to leave everybody as is. Speed this up. All right, here we go. They're going to get volleyed from 4 different archers now. 4 different crossbow units. It never goes well, especially when they have to go around the bend of this pool, of this little pond. They have to turn their backs. It just makes them even more dead. Yeah, that didn't go well for them. All right. Well, let's send our protectors back over to this town. And let's send everybody else back to work. That was a beautiful fight. There we go. All right. And we got our first family over here. Woo! We're in business now. All right, so things are speeding up for us. We got all the things that we need. We have a lot of fuel. We have a lot of food. We got the tanner going. And we actually don't need the tanner anymore at a certain point. I'm probably going to have to sell leather to keep up with everything. Let's get a few more boards going. The storehouse, we're going to need boards to upgrade. Hunting camp, we need to put a person back into. Burger's plot there. Perfect. All right. So we need a clothing supply stall. We don't actually need a clothing supply stall. We just need leather. And that is really weird. That is really weird. Okay, cool. Tier 2. That's the only house that's going to Tier 2 in this entire build. I know that the passive money makes a whole lot of sense to do. But if I don't have to have alcohol consumption, then I don't have to worry about importing it. I don't have to worry about that. One house is only going to give me a very small negative to entertainment. At least it should. They're supposed to have modified it so that it would do that. Every person I can not have doing something useless is better. It's just better for me. All right. Now, what do we need over here? All right. Cool. I want to get those 2 things upgraded and we're in good shape. All right, we got the second storehouse up. Okay, so this storehouse is going to be the storehouse for all the things that we're using in market stalls. I'm not actually going to do charcoal here. I'm going to do firewood. Charcoal is going to be purely for sale. It's mainly because I don't want it being bounced around. I want the charcoal to be right next to the trade post so it can be sold as fast as possible. Hide. We could do hide here, honestly. It's kind of good to keep certain things in certain areas, but we're not going to... we're going to do leather. Leather is going to have to come from this one, so that's fine. That's just an unfortunate thing because we're going to sell it, but it's also used in our market stalls. And that's going to be it for this guy. All he's going to do is provide those things, those very basic things. And we're only going to need 1. But the other gent, the other storehouse, he's going to be moving salt. He's going to be moving all those contraptions, everything out from over here, and that's gonna be the majority of trade. We'll get another family in soon. We're at 63%. Now everything's caught up. We're in the Goldilocks era, and yeah, we don't have to really worry about anything. Probably want to get that church up at some point so we can increase our tax rate. Now we want to keep people as happy as possible so that we can tax them as much as possible. We're gonna need more boards, of course, to get our manor up. And to be honest, the manor doesn't need to be anything special. It doesn't need to be anything pretty. It can literally go right here. 35 stone, perfect. All right, we're in good shape. Logging camp's going strong. Everything's going strong. Got ourselves a new family. I'm going to let him aid in the assistance of everything else. All right, we got enough space here for 9 more families. That's about right. We're going to need 2 in the mines. We're going to need a couple here, a couple there. We probably will just try to do 1 in the forager. We're going to try to keep everything really, really, really small. That's right. We have 1 more. 1 more burgage plot we can build. And we're definitely going to want as many families as we can get out of these things. So we'll do a double burgage plot right here. Perfect. All right. And what's cool about not upgrading anything is it's really easy for us to hit 100%. It's like stupid easy. So we're going to be at like peak happiness here. And we'll be able to put some pretty high rates. Let's also get a couple of hitching posts right here for horses. Perfect. All right, we got the burgage plot up here. So sausage is going to be on the menu here in a moment. We need 1 tool. Ah, okay. That is an issue. So I'm going to need to get a tool up. I don't really want to... I have to buy a trade route in order to get tools, which I really don't want to do. So we're going to hold off on that for now, but we will eventually just do it. We will eventually just do it. But yes, in order to avoid alcohol, we're going to shy away from some of that stuff. If anything, I'm probably going to do animal pens on these guys just for the extra meat, but it's almost negligible. It's almost not even worth the logistic cost of having to have a granary worker come down here and do something. But realistically speaking, the granary workers aren't... Well, they're not doing too much. They really aren't. Okay. We're in good shape. Okay, so at this location, we're not going to store any of the leather, and we're not going to store firewood. So we don't have to occupy these workers. There's not even going to be a stall set up there. That's this individual's job. Upgrade him. For the storage, we're only going to have 1 unit there, but this guy, we're going to need a good handful of workers, probably 3 to move all of the trade goods around. But that's going to be the entire purpose of this. Food is easy. Food is objectively easy. So I think for me, it's just to see what we can get away with. This is a funny thing, and I think we're going to put the manor right next to the church. Manors actually did sometimes go right next to churches in some of the designs that I've seen. So we'll do it like this. And road. Here's we'll do the we'll do some of this other stuff in a little bit. We'll get that up so we can start taxing everybody. Here we go. But yeah, I do like the Germanic tribe eye design. It's really cool. It makes some like interesting little villages, and you have, because you can see you have your main road, and then you have your road for your peasants, and then you have everything in the center that they need, like a marketplace, and you have the well. And we actually don't need to do anything here because this is 15 burgage plots worth of water. We don't even have to upgrade that. Perfect. All right, everything is in good shape. Everything is in perfect shape. Charcoal maker, I don't think we're going to need more than 1. I would even say we might not even have to worry about the forester, because 1 woodcutter is not going to be able to cut trees down faster than their natural... We'll see. We might have to cycle someone in and out. We'll play it by ear. Eventually, though, I'm not even going to need a logging camp. I'm not going to need boards, because we're not going to sell bows or shields, which is actually probably a wise idea now that I think about it. It means we need 0 people in the lumber industry at a certain point. And so, yeah, that actually is smart. Trying to like limit the amount. We're going to have 4 people in the trade post here. And we only have, you know, so much living space. Get those individuals up. We're getting 1 person per month. Once we hit 75, we'll get 2 people per month. That'll be good. I think we're going to sell leather simply because of the amount of animals I'm hoping to kill. We're probably going to need 2 people in a hunting camp. We won't need anybody in the saw pit once we get to a certain point. We're going to try to really dial in those industries. I mostly just want to see if I can do it. It's a fun little experiment. All right, the charcoal kiln is going strong. So charcoal. Let's get 1 individual in here. First thing that we're going to trade in this village, if I can afford the route, is charcoal. And we're not even going to use it for ourselves, right? I'm not going to use it in anything. Boom. First route. That's going to sell at 5 a pop. That's going to be great. We're definitely going to be selling leather at some point. We're going to export any leather we make over... We only need enough for 10 burger splots. I'm just going to do 20 just as a safety precaution. We'll start selling that too once I can buy the trade route. So, okay, there's 2 ridiculously easy trade items right there. Second one we're going to do, or third one I should say, is salt. And we'll trade anything we have over 20. That's perfect. And then our fourth item is going to be just straight up sausage. And we'll trade anything we have of that over, I'd say 40. Or if we're going to trade some with the other town, let's do 50. There we go. So now we got our policies unlocked. We're going to policies. We're not going to do any kind of farming here. We're going to turn on hunting grounds, increase the breed rate. That's going to allow us to do an enormous amount of hunting. Let's put 2 people in the hunting camp. Because the hunting camp also has a cap of 50, like, not 50, sorry. It has a pantry size of 36. It could be beneficial just to have 2 independent ones, just in case the granary workers kind of, you know, running late. I'm going to put one right there. Perfect. Okay. Our woodcutter probably needs to get back in operation. Let's put 1 person in the woodcutter again. Might have to get a forester to run here and there. 1 person in the granary. 1 person in the granary should actually be enough, which is kind of crazy. Right now we're running low on clothing, but that's just simply because we're making the leather. That will be remedied here momentarily. Again, I am shying away from doing anything over here for the time being. And we're going to lose 1 individual when we go this direction. So, not enough clothing variety will be fine. Alright, we got our second family, or another family in. Granary's good. Our helper worker's good. That's good. Okay, yeah, I'm going to pull him out, and I'm going to put him in. We have 2 hunters. It's going to be more than enough. It's going to be pretty insane how much meat we can get out of that area with 2 hunters. We're probably going to have an issue here. You can see we're already, like, really high up on berries. We're not even going to need more than 1 person getting berries. And I'm going to put them in now. So we got... Shit, we could actually probably not even do berries if you want to get technical. Because the veggies and the meat and the sausages are going to be more than enough for the 2 food types that we need. I may decide to take that worker out of berries even. That's kind of the stupid thing. Now, we could also, though, sell the berries. Simply because there's a lot of them. They do sell for a bit. Now, bread, you can see because I'm selling bread, it's going for a bit. Now, we could trade between our regions. You can see that it says 2 to 12. I could buy bread for 2 if I turn off the allow foreign trade route. So I can import bread from my own region over here for 2. Really cheap. Or I could use a mule and set up a really imbalanced, like, setup, to be honest. Buying bread like this, and let's say I set a quota, I want like 20 bread. This is honestly the best way to do this stuff, is with your trade posts to some extent. If I do mules, I'll get to a point where I have 200 bread and like I will have sent all my sausages south. Mules make a sense if you have large demands for the products you're exchanging on both sides. We do not have large demands for anything in this village. So when you don't have that, trade makes the most sense. So we're going to buy bread. I told you I would show you guys how to do this. We're going to buy bread. We're importing it. Now, in order for us to be able to import this bread, okay? People will say, hey, I'm not seeing the option for how cheap you're getting it. You have to be trading it in that town. If I'm not trading bread, it's not going to show up as being able to be purchased for that 2 there. So in my trade post, I can't remember where I put it now. Okay. I thought we at one point had it up there. Okay. In the trade post, I have to be... all the goods I have to be selling. We're selling lots of stuff here. We're selling fish, honey, bread. We're even selling flour. We're selling iron ore. Selling ale. So I could purchase ale from myself for what I'm exporting it at, which is really cheap. So instead of producing it here, I could just use my trade post to purchase it. It's a really good idea. It really is. Okay. So that's how you do inter-region trade with the trade post. And the second alternative is to do a mule. Now, you want to place your pack station next to the location of what you're trading. So if I'm going to be trading bread, I want this to be next to where my bread is stored. Now, the bread is stored all the way over here. I don't have a whole lot of space around these parts. So, wherever I can fit this, right here is fine. So, all my bread is being stored here. I want my pack station. What it's going to do is it's going to come in here, going to get the bread. It's going to run all the way over here, and it's going to drop it off at the closest point. Now, if the closest point is a trade post, it will put anywhere it can put the bread. So the trade post can store everything in it. So if your trade post is before your granary, it will put the bread in the trade post pantry. And the pantry has one of the highest spoilage rates, and that's bad. So make sure that your granary or storehouse is before your trade post on the route that mule is taking, or you are going to hate life. It's such a pain in the ass. So that's another important thing that I've learned the hard way. But anyway, he'll drop it off there, and then on the way back, same principle. They will drop it off at the nearest point they possibly can. Even if you say on the thing to not let that item in, they'll still do it. That's really annoying, and they need to fix that. But currently that works. But I'll show you how pack stations work here, just so you have an idea. All right. So the manor's up. Next thing we want to do is immediately try to get a garrison tower here. Because now what we can do is get our next retinue up. Perfect. Okay, so we have our own retinue in this area now. And this is just to make sure that the bandits don't go into auto burn down the whole village. And you can use that unit to kind of kite them into your main forces. But we can retire this guy. They got their own people now. Beautiful. All right, so the pack station is now ready. Let's come on down to the pack station. Come on down to pack station world. Okay, this is... All right, good. So we're going to need a mule and a person. So you're going to order a mule. Make sure to assign 2 mules. You get 1 family. 2 people in the family can each use a mule. All right. So you're going to assign your family. Let's just pretend we have mules in this situation. They will move stuff by foot, but oh my god, it sucks. A mule can carry 20, so I can carry 20 bread. So the barter partner is Denar. So you pick your barter partner. You say, what am I going to send? Well, I'm going to send them bread, and in exchange, I want sausages. Now again, given that I've decided not to do a whole lot of crazy stuff, it's not going to be really worth our time. So you can see here, it's based off how much monetary value. Now, a bread is going for 2. Sausage right now is going for 6. All right, so it's 3 times the value. So per every 3 bread, I'm going to get 1 sausage. That's what that times 3 basically means. So we're going to get like maybe 5, 6 sausages a trip. Yeah, about 6 sausages a trip for 20 bread. That's actually not too bad. But what's going to happen is that mule's going to run back and forth. That's actually pretty good. We're going to do it. We're going to do that. We'll just have them keep going in the background. We'll be buying up to 20 bread, but yeah, that's actually, now that I'm realizing it, that might be the perfect thing to trade because you're getting we're not going to be like taking all the sausage, but he has such a short route. He's just going to walk this way. But we can play it by ear. We can play it by ear and see how well they do. All right. So we got 3 individuals over here. All right, so we need to get these mines going. I am most likely not going to do berries over here too, if we're going to go with this short but sweet little setup that we got here. All right, so let's just go through and make sure everybody, all the families we have, we can always expand. I can always change my mind. I want to see what I can get away with though. You can see that they're very happy people. And that happiness makes me greedy. All right, cool. So we got that going. Commit. All right. Get that built up, and then I'll turn the taxes on. We got ourselves a nice church. Let's see what negatives we have. Right now we have no negatives, and that's with one house that does have a demand for alcohol. It does have a demand for alcohol and boots. And we don't have to. We do want a tier 2 church at some point. I'm gonna see if I can get away with it. I'm gonna see what all I can get away with. If upgrading the church actually might be a really good idea. So there's a few things. There's a few ways we could do this. We could just simply buy the resources. Since I do have a lot of money at 533, I can go over here and mine them. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I don't want to take people away from doing the jobs that I want them to do. We don't have to buy trade routes either to get stone. We're just going to set a quota of stone. This is like such a lazy way to do things, but it's funny. I think it's funny. We're going to buy the route for exporting. You can see I have 104 leather, so we're going to make a killing in leather. And we're going to start importing clay. And we're going to import up to 20 clay. So this way, all I have to really build right now is the clay furnace. And this is simply, like I said, I'm just using my economy to kind of drive the other factors here. I'm going to put it right there. We'll get the clay tiles up, and that way we can upgrade the church. That way we don't have to buy it, because you have to buy a route to get clay tiles. You can't import them. So if you don't, you're probably wondering what I'm doing, and I should probably explain this. So if I don't buy a trade route, what you'll get are traveling merchants on foot who have maybe 3 to 5 of a certain good. It's really, really crap, because the horse can carry 50. So when I buy a trade route, I'm able to trade and receives in 50s. But for these small amounts, you'd be surprised, like especially because you don't need a whole lot of stone. So like over time, I'm gonna get that 40 stone. Over time, I'm gonna get that clay that I need, and it's all gonna, you know, work itself out. So over here, what do I need? I need exactly 10 roof tiles, right? So if I put a cap at 10 roof tiles, then it's gonna stop buying clay once I get to that point, and we're gonna be in good shape. So I'm gonna put one individual in there. All right. So this storehouse is good. This storehouse is good. We're going to slap ourselves in another trader, buy ourselves another horse. Let's make sure on the livestock side that we have assigned both horses to this area. We are in beautiful shape. The large granary is doing the Lord's work. Way too much meat. I might have to actually put another individual into here. That's scary. Scary, scary. Yeah, 95% because that one house that needs 3 types of food. Clothing, we'll get there momentarily. Clothing is because we need that one house who needs a boot. But the negatives that we get from this are going to be very, very minor. So we're not going to be able to hit 100% unless I want to make boots and do some other stuff. So that's fine. We don't need to. What we need to do is just maximize the amount of money that we're making. I don't think I'm going to need more than 2 people in the salt mines over here. I'm going to pull the dude out of the bushes. I think that we're going to make more than enough from the bread coming in and the meat coming in. That we're going to have more than enough for food types, and we're going to be making sausages here momentarily. So the next thing that I need to do is get a tool. And for that, I am feeling... Well, let me see. I can import iron slabs. Yeah. I can import iron slabs without doing a trade route. So what we can do is get up a smithy. Just to make that tool. That way we don't have to purchase a trade route. Every time I purchase a trade route, subsequent trade routes become more expensive. So it is best to avoid that if possible. That's kind of the logic and rationale right there. All right, look at that. So we're doing the salt. We're doing all that stuff. So I need to continue to buy out the trade routes for the items that I am selling. Yeah, we are importing bread just to show you how to import materials from your own regions. It's a beautiful thing. And let's just go down the line and see what we can do here. All right, exporting salt. Let's buy that route. Oh, that's a beautiful route. That is a beautiful route. All right. So charcoal, leather, salt, soon, dasages. Okay, we're in good shape. I don't know why I have to say sausages like that, but I always like to say things funny, I guess. All right, now we're at a point where we can start taxing. So kind of the goal here is we have hit our peak. Okay, we have everybody here that we're going to have, and we can take this happiness down as far as we want. Now, do they have enough food? Absolutely. They absolutely have enough food. 100%. All right. So once we get the 10 clay tiles, once we get the church up, all right, let's get the smithy going, and our quota here. Let's just do 5 so we have some more in case I change my mind about anything. I think if anything, we're gonna want more people hunting. Like, yeah, we're gonna get two more families hunting. Definitely want to jack up the trade post. So I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices here. I think we're really close. 2 charcoals, 2 salt makers. I don't think we're gonna be able to sell salt as fast as we're pulling it in. Could be a liar. All right, we got 50. And the storehouse workers, they should be transporting. I'm probably gonna have to put one more into here. The saw pit is done. We don't need him anymore. It doesn't appear that we're going to need the logging camp anymore either. We're not going to need any more ox because, well, they serve no purpose. There's nothing to be built. There's nothing to be hauled to the sawmill. That gives us 3 people right there. So I can put 2 individuals here. I can put 1. Okay, so our trading post is now maxed out. I'm going to order another horse just for shits and giggles because sometimes I think it's nice just to have some extra stuff. And we should probably, I know I put it, let's upgrade a hitching post over here just to have a double hitch post. Want to make sure I don't lose anybody. The large storehouse is perfect. He's got his 20. All right. Yeah, so we're going to be in a weird situation because we don't have the boot. And that drops us down a lot for some reason, which is stupid. And we're going to be in a weird situation here because we don't have 3 out of 5 food. But we're getting away with using just 2 stall workers. And that is a beautiful thing. All right, get rid of that. I have 1 free worker. That is a beautiful thing. And I'm not upgrading my houses because I don't want the alcohol consumption. Look how happy they are without alcohol. I'm going to be able to tax the shit out of them. It's going to be beautiful. And if I level up the town, if I get another 2nd level burgers plot, my town goes to medium village, and then each person here is taxed even more. So I'm trying to make them as valuable as possible. Look how much regional wealth I have already here. We're going to go to 20% tax. We're going to upgrade our church. Oh, this is beautiful. We're going to build ourselves a butcher. Woo! Okay. So, we have accomplished every goal I've ever dreamed of as a young boy. And we're going to destroy all this junk that we don't need. Okay. That leaves me with exactly 2 people. So, animals we're hunting. You can see they're down to 37, 38. I think we're actually at a perfect point. Perfect point with them. We're bringing in more than enough vegetables. What's funny is that sausage and meat both count as different food items, so I could technically eat sausage and meat and hit the 2 types of food variety. You could have a whole village of tier 1 houses literally eating sausages and meat and being in perfect equilibrium. It's the craziest thing in the world to me. I am not going to have... Actually, I take that back. We should have like some kind of limit, like 200, because we want to keep... Actually, let's change that up. How much food? No. Yeah. We really don't need more than, I'd say, like 120 sausages at any given time for trade and everything. We want to make sure that we're not going too crazy here. All right, so this is the only dude who's weird. We're gonna have the one guy in there. The storehouse is perfect. Everything's perfect. We have 2 individual people left. We got a trade post full of young... I don't know how old they are, actually. They're probably all old and weird. We don't need any more individuals in here. They seem to be doing an okay job of moving all the goods, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But these aren't very big pantries. So, no, these farms aren't very big. All right, we're in good shape. We're doing the Lord's work. All right, and I don't want any more veggies at all, really. Or, I guess we could do another veggie farm. We'll do 1 more veggie farm. It's always good just to have a little bit extra. That's going to be it, though. And then I don't want any more logistical costs. I'm not going to do eggs or any of that stuff. Or even any more meat. I don't think that meat is an issue. So we got 14 sausages. We got the sausage man going strong. If anything, I might need more sausage makers. That's the scary thing. Yeah, I might actually need another sausage maker. That would put me in a funny place. All right, church is going up here soon. Could always buy boots. It's true. It is true. You don't... here's the deal. I don't technically have to craft the boots. I just need the boots in a stall. So if I want to expand this village to tier 3 and get a tavern and double the amount of families that are here, I could do that. And I could easily do it. But I think you can see the animals are going down. You can see the sausages are selling. Let's go to our trade. Let's look at our exports. So look at this. 2,000 from charcoal. So this is what I was telling you, raw resources. 2,000 from charcoal. 456 from salt. 942 from leather. That's in the last 365 days. I have made 3,500 on this small town. Just from charcoal, salt, and leather. Not even the sausages. So we should be trading. You can see that bread is coming in for the sausages now. That's a beautiful thing. The berries will be gone here momentarily. I'm going to turn off the import of bread. It's unnecessary, but I wanted to show you how to do it. But you can see now that... right now, they're trading the bread and sausage by foot. If I buy that mule, it's going to go up substantially. I don't want that. I'm happy with this dude coming on a magical journey with 3 loaves of bread for 1 sausage and feeling like he's a valued member of my society, because he absolutely is not, and I would gladly let him go. That is such a useless job. But if I got the mule, it wouldn't be, and we'd be exchanging at much higher values. So we're okay. All right, we got 32 sausage. I think that everything is keeping up. So I think the real trick here is that I need to buy this trade route. All right, there we are. Now, it's hard for them to get the sausage over there. I think that has a lot to do with the granary worker. I am going to get an extra granary worker. I wish that you could individually say which people should and shouldn't have a market stall. Fortunately, we're going to have to do the double market stall. But that will actually, though, allow us to have 3 food types and hit 100% food variety. So there is that benefit that I can tax them a bit more. All right, so we're at 20% taxes. We're going to go to 30% taxes now. So we have 21 families here. This is a very small village of 75 people. And they are making an absolute killing. My treasury, so we're taxing this. Our treasury is going up. So as long as I continue to make a ton of money off of this, we're in good shape. I don't need to import any more stone. I also don't need to... okay, yeah, we got the sausages going. I don't need to import iron slabs. Perfect. Don't need to import any more. Oh, we were never going to import tools anyway. We were building our own. All right. So, it looks like we're selling everything out really quick. The granary right there is doing perfect. Charcoal kiln is doing the Lord's work. Let's see what we got going on here. Fuel, we got 8 months worth of fuel. Firewood's getting low. So, we are going to need... no, not 2 there. Let's find the camp. Oh, that's pretty cool. We need 2 people in our woodcutter's lodge. We're selling things out a little fast. You can see that out of everything, though, and as I mentioned, charcoal really is the MVP. Charcoal is amazing. And I think we should probably get a forester up. And we might have to pull some people out of certain things. I think, to be honest, that meat is fine. We have 50 sausages. I'm going to pull him out. Yeah, we had 4 people in hunting. That was totally not necessary. We need to keep our firewood industry going strong. All right, look at that. They put bread. The trader hit this point first, but they moved the bread out quickly. We're selling salt. We're selling leather. Selling everything that we need over here. It's honestly perfect. And once this forester is up, we'll get that going. Got our upgraded church. Got everything that we want to go. We're at 69% approval. I'm going to bump this up to a 40% tax now. So we're at 30,000, 2,000 annual tax. This is beautiful. Yeah, Denar, like I said, you can, just a small village that we're just extorting every nickel from these people imaginable. All right, we got ourselves a forester hut. So this will keep the status quo as far as firewood goes. And the fewer houses, the better. I feel like we're going to be okay, but I'm not exactly sure. Part of me is wondering, how many freaking woodcutters I might need, but I think we're gonna be okay. We'll just watch. Okay, went from 7 to 8. I think we found a good equilibrium with the 2 workers there. We have more than enough food to last until the end of days, so that's really good. We got 54 sausages, 226 meat. The berries are slowly depleting. The vegetables are slowly, you know, doing their thing. I actually think that the vegetables and the meat make a whole lot of sense. I'm gonna do one more veggie. I just want to make sure that we're eating vegetables before we're eating sausages. Remember what I said about equal parts consumed? So we have 4 food types, so it's consuming equally from all 4 food types. That's good, because every time they're eating that vegetable, they're not eating a sausage, and I could sell that sausage. So, you know, berries, all that's good. And realistically, if I wanted to, I could pull all my hunters out at the beginning of a season and get 220 berries. That's going to last me like another year or 2, you know what I mean? Like, you could sit here and kind of min-max that stuff, but that's what you have to do when you're on a small population like this, and you're trying to just milk every dollar out of it possible. We're at 63% approval. Can I do a 50? Ooh, look at that. So from 40 to 50, it only goes up another 5. Let's go crazy town. 60%. Oh my god. Almost instantly want to kill me. 50%. But you know what? We have to go below 25% to lose people. All right. So we could have them at a 34%. We could hold it there. I'm going to put it at 50% and let's see if we can get away with it. All right. We're at 37%. That's good enough for them to not kill me in my sleep. That's a beautiful place to be for us. This is perfect. All right. We found our equilibrium. We have 10 months of fuel. Fuel's going back up. That means we're actually producing more fuel than we need. And everybody has food. The veggies should go up. Berries, eventually they're going to be gone. We're going to be exchanging sausage for bread. I almost probably should just exchange meat instead. So let's come down here. I don't want to give them my sausages anymore. They're my sausages. And I want them for money. I wanted to show you how to do it. For this scenario, though, honestly, meat. So we'll get 1 bread per meat, and I like that. That's a good trade for us. It's a good trade for them. We're gonna buy 1 mule. We're gonna buy 1 mule because I do actually think I have a lot of meat, and I do want to get some bread up here. That will help us out tremendously. All right, we're in really good shape now. The trade is through the roof. You can see all things are being traded. Let's take another gander at our trade. So all of our imports throughout time, very minimal cost. Exports all time, 5,000 out of this. In the last 365 days, we made 5,153 coins off this place. Little bits coming from sausage. And this is kind of what I was getting at, is that it sounds fancy, right? To make swords and to make shields. I mean, even the bows and stuff are great. But realistically, the base materials that you can produce almost in any village, they always sell for stupid amounts because you can just mass them. So like charcoal is the best. It's one of the best trade items in the game, as you can see. It's really easy to mass produce and it sells a lot. Leather, also really, really good. Boots are decent too. If you can get, I had a lot of good sales with another campaign I did where I did a textile industry. And that did very, very well for me. So you can see down here we have about 3,000 food. 2,000 of it bread. We got a little bit of sausage, a little bit of meat coming in. I mean, we're fine on everything down here. We're at 71%. I mean, we could tax these people down here too. And you know what? I don't like them that much. So I say we just tax everybody until they don't like me. We're going to a 30% tax in this area. But the taxes that we're able to get away with over here are about on par. We're taxing so much of our regional wealth, but now we have 32,000 in the treasury. So this is kind of crazy. Yeah, 50% tax. I think a 45% tax is about right where you want to be for them to not kill you. So we'll do 45%. I think that's what they do to people in England, isn't it? Man, here I am thinking I'm an evil man, and I'm just an English monarch. I mean, I'm just the parliament. So I guess we're democratic. We're just gonna tax the shit out of you. You know what their health care here is? And they don't even have it. I was gonna say it's herbs from a garden, but they don't even have that. They got nothing. All right, look at that. Look how much food we got. Amazing. We're still eating those berries from 3 years ago. All right, firewood's going up, charcoal's going up. I kind of feel like we could even take the charcoal stuff to another extreme. But everything is being made at a level that is self-sufficient. So this is it. This is Denar. This is what I wanted to talk about. People are asking me, what do you trade? And like I said, it's just take something like this that you can put a rich deposit on. We haven't even done the rich deposits yet. I have to get 2 houses to the tier 2 to get the rich deposit. So I would have to get another house to tier 2. All right, and they're coming to Noe Nora. I would have to get another house to tier 2 to get this. All right, that's going to cause a little bit of a negative. Now, all I would do is start importing alcohol, to be honest, and have a tavern just for those few houses that I wanted to upgrade. I would not upgrade all of my houses, simply because it's going to require me to do more alcohol. So as a nice farewell of the series, we're going to have ourselves one more fun little battle. All right, the buggers are coming from the south. There we go. So now you got your second level. You get yourself your second development point, deep mining. Then you can do it indefinitely. But here's the problem. There's no point to do it. There's no end game for money. Once you get yourself to a point where you're making more money than you need, that's it. You've done it. Ah, crap. They're going into I hate you mode. Sometimes sometimes they only burn down a little bit, and that's always nice. I guess this is actually the best way to end the series. It's just to let them burn my whole freaking city to the ground. It does give that nice feel to it. But yeah, let's get the show on road. I mean, I did really enjoy making this city. It's probably one of the coolest cities I've made. It's beautiful for sure. All right, here we go. Cinematic battle masterpiece. All right, they're charging across the fields. Ooh, that was a lot of them that went down there. No, they're hitting me with everything they got in that corner. All right, last hurrah. No, they didn't run. That's awesome. Beautiful. That was the perfect ending. The perfect ending. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it was at least entertaining, if any part educational. Have a great rest of your day.